We call to order the April 8, 2014 Recreation Committee meeting. All members are present except Councilman Oliver Joseph and Councilman Brian Malonson. Mr. Kenneth Dawson will lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, as we come this evening, we thank you for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us and all the gifts that you've given us. Father, we ask for your wisdom as we do the people's business, and we ask for your guidance, O Lord God, as we make decisions, O God, that would affect all. Father, we pray that you protect this parish as the inclement weather moves through, and Father, just have an ark of safety, O God, for all those involved. Father, give you all the glory and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to remind everyone, if you would like to speak, we have the public speaker cards at the podium. Go ahead and fill one out and turn it in to the secretary. We go to number 4 on the agenda, the community meeting presentation by Mr. Adrian Percy.
Good evening. Thank you for having me today. Just make sure this is on. We have a PowerPoint. Okay, this is a presentation of basically the summary of the first phase of our community input meetings that we conducted for the parish toward the middle and end of last month. As you recall from our proposal and what we said we were going to do, we held 5 meetings that lasted about 2 hours each in Donaldsonville, Prairieville, Santima, Lamar-Dixon, and the Geismar Community Center. We would have liked to have had more people there. We advertised them in all the newspapers. We had it up on the parish website and on the parks website, and we had signs at all of the parks and at all the schools in the parish. But holding them in the evening, 6 to 8 at night, during the weeks, usually Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings, fewer people than we wanted to show came. However, we found that we had input from a lot of groups, a lot of organizations, and we've had over 2,000 hits on the Facebook page where information about the meetings and about the parks plan that we were presenting to everybody were, and I think 400 or 500 people have liked the website on the Facebook page and are getting information from it. What we did was we held the community input meetings, Mr. Turner made a presentation on the parks plan to everybody, and we got community input. What do you want? What do you want? What do you hear from the plan? What do you like about the plan? What would you like to see different? And what I've done is kind of summarize from each one of the 5 meetings some of the key things everybody said. And you're going to see where the consistencies are in here very quickly. In Donaldsonville, one of the first things that came out, they want to see better maintenance at the parks, and they want to see better security, lighting, security. They want a splash park in Donaldsonville. They want some place where the kids and everybody can get wet during the summer. And they want more walking trails, more outdoor space, more places just to go be with your family, go outside and be able to enjoy the outdoor areas. They also said we want more arts programming, both visual and performing arts, and they want water access. When we talked about the Bayou Manchac project, they said we want water access, and we would like to see some benches and water access to Bayou Lafourche on our side of the river, not just at Manchac. When we went to Prairieville, everybody pretty much came out and said we want to see more fields close to home for both practices and game caliber fields. We'd like to see some covered basketball courts, lighted tennis courts, and also a playground for the smaller children. More wellness and exercise programs. Programs and things like movies and events in the park. Programs to build more community. And also what came out in this meeting is possibly an ATV track and trails for ATV vehicles, that there's no place actually in the parish for ATV enthusiasts to go. In Santima, people wanted to say, this becoming a recurring theme, better security and better maintenance at the parks, more fields and amenities at the local parks, just a basic level of amenities at every park that you could expect. more adult exercise, or things like aerobics, yoga, and things for more the older population. And again, another recurring theme, more non-sport programs, more non-sport activities and recreation. Volleyball courts, and not just volleyball courts, but volleyball courts that were enough courts and enough of a facility to be able to hold tournaments. Another thing that came out is a director within the Parks Department for non-sport activities, somebody to help coordinate non-sport activities. Another thing that came out was a pretty park, which actually goes back and echoes what was said at the two earlier meetings, which are just a place to be in the outdoors, a place to enjoy the parks and scenery, picnic benches, tables, just a place to be outside. And also what came up here is when we were talking about the large sports complex, don't forget promises that have been made to the Boy Scouts in the Boy Scout area in the past. The Lamar-Dixon meeting, gee, look at this, better maintenance and security at all parks. That came up right out the gate. More health, fitness, and wellness type programming. Lacrosse fields, this was the first time we heard about lacrosse at the parks, but that there is a lacrosse program and activities happening now, and they would like better fields. Again, programs to build more of a sense of community in Ascension Parish, and I echo again, keep the Boy Scout area, and remember that the Boy Scouts need a place. The last meeting was in Geismar. Facilities, programs for the handicapped, senior sports and leisure activities, things for the seniors like pickleball and badminton, not necessarily competitive, but exercise and camaraderie building, AAU caliber basketball courts and a potential basketball tournament facility, also science program, possibly planetarium and telescope, things again, non-sport. A potential gun range, and again in this meeting, ATV trails and a track for four-wheelers. Now, at every meeting, every person that came was given a card to fill in that looked at the four major areas, the four major components of the plan. And the first part of that card was about the 16 community parks spread all around the parish, and what would you like to see? What do you think about the plan, and what would you like to see at the community parks? And after everybody had gone through and looked at all the plans, basically the comments were overwhelmingly positive. People were saying things like, it's a great plan and it's great to see all of the community parks getting upgrades. But the suggestions for improvement that came out and were written were, I see infrastructure, but I would like to see more program, more information on the programming that's going to be included in the plan. We see the facilities, we see what you're planning for the facilities, but what about the programming? We want to see more maintenance included in the plan. Again, the plan's talking about facilities, but break out in the plan, if you're going to be presenting it to the public, what is the difference in the cost between maintenance and construction, and show us that you can maintain the park, show us that you can maintain a tournament caliber field. Again, we want more spray parks and pools closer to the different communities. And then also focus on the community parks before building the large sports complex. And again, more family and general use parks. Recreation is not just sports. The plan for the Donaldsonville Community Park, more spray parks and possibly a pool on the west side came up repeatedly, both in the verbal comments and in the written comments. Paddle access to Bayou Lafourche, not just Manchac, and give us places to walk and enjoy the outdoors. Recreation is not just sport. What they wrote about the multi-use sports complex include more senior and adult activities. Again, pickleball, shuffleboard, yoga, leisure and fitness classes. Have a place for siblings to play while the families are at a sporting event, and possibly a playground for the kids out at that area. Have more trails and a family area, and do not overlook the traffic issue and the inconvenience at this time of entering and leaving the Lamar-Dixon facility. Relative to the kayak and the proposal for the kayak and paddle trail on Bayou Manchac, again, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Everybody was making comments like, sounds great, make it happen. It's good to see the synergy of working with BREC, and it's a great way to make this happen and come about. And it's good to see something like this coming about. Also came up, it's like Manchac's not the only waterway in the parish. Let's look at the rights of way on the waterways throughout the parish and look at ordinances to give access to the citizenry for the waterways other than just Bayou Manchac. And the whole waterway thing and all of that was something that looking at all these areas and so much of the undeveloped land and waterways and the set-aside properties in Ascension, that this could be another great way for the Boy Scouts to get involved and participate in some of the cleanups and work and utilization of those areas. In summary, there was widespread support for the Recreation Department and the plan. There was support for the plan, but there was also great demand and support for just basic enhancements to the community parks. Again, it came up over and over: improved lighting, improved security, improved maintenance. Restrooms at all of the parks should be guaranteed. They're expected. Picnic tables and benches, walking trails, things for people to go enjoy the parks. And again, playground equipment for younger children. In other words, more and better facilities, including sports field and covered basketball courts, close to everyone's homes. Recreation is not just sports. Include arts activities and activities for seniors and those who are not going to play a sport competitively. They should be included also. We found that there was no strong opposition to the large multi-use sports complex. In fact, most of the discussion, it came out that it was seen more of an asset for the parish, and both for the ability to track large tournaments and also as a potential performing arts venue. However, there were repeated comments in every single meeting about balancing the large multi-use sports complex against the needs of all of the local parks, that the community parks are just as important. And let's don't do everything in one big park. Let's make sure everybody in every neighborhood and community gets upgrades. And it came up in every single meeting. Ascension needs to build more of a sense of community, and everybody seemed to feel like the Parks and Recreation Department was a big part of building that. From here on, what are kind of like the next steps? We're sharing this with the Parks Department, with this committee, Parish Council, and the President's Office, and there's also a Community Advisory Committee. It was active in getting people to the meetings and also being at the meetings and actually acting as docents, interpreters, and presenters of the different aspects of the plan. But basically, we want this out to the whole community. We want everyone in Ascension Parish to have access to the plan and give us input. The next steps are to meet with the community, for the Parks Department, and meet with the Community Advisory Committee and modify the plan based on what the citizens have said so far. Redraw, redesign any necessary infrastructure, and then again address the issues of the programming at the parks, and the program is to be included, and also breaking out the immediate as well as long-term maintenance and the budgeting of maintenance versus just the facilities expansion. Present that information and a redrawn plan back to the Parish Recreation Committee and the Council for approval, and then proceed with the process to try to figure out how to get this, how to make it happen. But basically, we're still asking everyone in the community to participate with us and try to envision the parks, envision what the parks can become for this parish.
Thank you.
What?
Any questions?
Oh,
Okay. We'll do the public speaker card, then we'll ask
okay.
questions.
Okay, and he said how to contact us. Go to the website or the Facebook page for the Parks Department and the Parks Plan. It's there. contact us through the parks and the parish website. It will tell you when the meetings are happening and how we can get more people involved.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What we're going to do is call the public speakers, then ask questions after that.
Okay, I will just leave that there.
Allison Leak.
Hi, I'm Allison Leak. I am the head volleyball coach at Cinema High School. I'm also the club director here in Ascension Parish for Bayou Bandits Volleyball Club. And so there's two things that I really want to address. One being that we really need a volleyball recreation program in our parish. We have just in our club program over 100 girls and 14 teams. And actually, we really could have more. We have to cut because we have no facility that's big enough to house all of them. And so because of that, we're actually cutting, like I know last season, we could have had 18, 19 volleyball teams with all these young girls from ages 7 years old to 18 years old. And so, you know, we try to keep the younger ones as much as we can. We just don't have the means, the facilities to do that. But I think it would be really great if we could have a program in place in recreation for those younger players to play. Just at Cinema High School, or actually all three of the high schools on this side, we have all played in the playoffs this past season. Cinema High School actually broke history, a parish record. We made it to the semifinals this past year. Now, this is with girls that have not been playing since they were 5 years old. So we're competing against New Orleans schools and Baton Rouge schools in Division I against these girls that have been playing since they were literally 5 years old in their recreation leagues. So can you imagine what we could do if our kids, who are so athletic in this parish, would be starting at 5 and 6 and 7 years old? You know, to me, I think the sky's the limit, and it's the experience that's beating us out. We just put middle school volleyball into place about 4 years ago, and I kind of helped with getting them started and doing all that. So if there's anything that I can do to help the recreation program, I'm more than willing to help. If you walk into any of those middle school gyms, I don't know if any of you have kids or grandkids, but it is packed. The parish could not believe how many people were packed into those gyms to watch those girls play, and they love it. And that's another thing, you know, I think with the younger kids, we have softball and we have baseball and we have basketball, but volleyball is a sport, if you have never watched, that is fast-paced. Something is always happening. You cannot be on the court and the ball not come to you. It just can't happen. So, you know, with those younger kids that get bored with other things, this is something that I find that a lot of them are very interested in. It's also good, there's no rainouts, the net height, the ball, all of that can be adjusted according to each age group, which is wonderful, and it's easy to do. So there's never, oh, we're gonna have to cancel this and reschedule. Never can happen. The second thing that I wanted to mention was the multipurpose facility. And I know a lot of people, you know, I think they're just talking about taking a building and kind of revamping it, but I really think we need to really look at having an actual big multi-purpose facility, a civic center. If you've ever been to the Pontchartrain Center, there's a civic center in Houma. It is absolutely wonderful. It is awesome. They can fit maybe 8 volleyball courts. They can fit a ton of basketball courts. Now you're talking about things that we don't have. You know, people have mentioned to me, yeah, but we have volleyball courts and gyms all over the parish. We do, but there's nowhere for us to have a big tournament or big enough facility for all the kids that we have in this parish that want to come. You know, in our tournament that we have for club, we have from 75 to 100 teams. And this past year, we had so many teams, we had to go out of the parish. So we literally are bringing money and bringing a ton of teams and people outside of our parish just to host this. So this could be something that our parish could be profiting on, but we're not because we have nowhere to put them. You know, I've called, Beth knows me very well because we use Lamar Dixon as much as possible, but there's times where there's just a lot of things going on in the gym and we can't use it. You know, and not just for us for volleyball, but basketball, indoor soccer, batting cages in the gym. we're centrally located in Ascension Parish, and I think, the kids really need to be involved to stay out of trouble. They're either going to be involved or they're going to be getting into trouble, one or the other. There's not very many in between. And so not just sports, but shows and concerts and plays and camps and clinics. I think all that's important to have one big facility where all of that can be addressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Aaron Lawler.
Good evening. What I'd like to talk about is the opportunity that we have. I moved here from outside of the parish because of the excellent school system. I have 3 young boys, 7, 9, and 11, and we moved in knowing that we had great schools, and that drove us in here. And that's a lot of the community. That's a lot of the growth that we have, and this parish is growing because of that. But part of that growth means we have to expand it in other ways, and to increase the funding and the gifts that we have for recreation would be phenomenal. We already have the families here, but the families need somewhere to go and some way to use all the gifts that this parish has. One of the things that we do, we're involved in soccer. We go to soccer tournaments all over the state, and we haven't been to a single one here in Ascension Parish. And it's unfortunate because there are literally thousands of kids at some of these soccer tournaments. We have from U5 to U16. There's boys and girls. There's about 11 to 12 kids on each team. And when you do the math, boys and girls, that's 2,000 participants with parents, brothers and sisters, hotel rooms, restaurants. The last one we had in Homa, we had to share rooms because there weren't enough hotel rooms in Homa for all the kids that were there for these tournaments. That's a huge moneymaker for the city of Homa. You can do that with baseball. You can do that with volleyball. You can do that with basketball. There's a lot of opportunity there. So this could be an economic driver also. Additionally, I know we're going to have Jonathan speak about the kayaking and the nature trails, but that is a booming industry right now. Kayaking is a lot of fun, and I'm big into the fishing aspect of it, but the photography aspect of it could be huge in Ascension Parish. We have some beautiful waterways that are underutilized right now because there isn't the access that's needed. We have a real opportunity here to show the parish, the entire parish, to the entire state, and quite frankly, the entire nation. There are a lot of people that come down to Louisiana for the fishing, that go down to South Louisiana for the saltwater fishing, but here's an opportunity to bring them up to Ascension Parish. So take a day, come up here, explore Ascension Parish. We get people using our hotel rooms, our restaurants. I look at this as a real economic opportunity that we have. Yes, it costs money to make money, and that's what we're trying to do here. We have people coming into this parish. Let's keep them here, and let's get more people into the parish. I'm also a big proponent of having some of the smaller community parks. I think it would really be great for the communities to have a park that they can call their own. The people that grow up around the parks, they're going to play with them. They'll be involved in them. And then you create a booster club, and that booster club helps support the park. It becomes not only parish funding, but the individuals that use it have a booster club. They start holding fundraisers for it. They take care of the clubs. I must have spoken too long. I apologize. But no, I will keep it brief. That's. I think we have a great opportunity here. I think this is something that the parish will really take a hold of and push forward. I've spoken to people in my neighborhood. I live in Manchac Harbor, and we have a pretty big neighborhood. And as part of helping with this project, I've walked around, talked to people in the neighborhood, canvassed the neighborhood. They couldn't make it out today. Like many of them, my wife is supposed to be at soccer practice. I think it's been rained out. But we've all got a lot of things going on. But the support is there, not just from the people with kids and the families, but for the people with no kids that still want a place to go walk around, that want a nature trail, that, walking around the neighborhood doesn't always cut it. You want to see the trees, the squirrels, the butterflies, and that's what we're working for here. And I think it's a great opportunity, and I hope we take it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Murray Walker.
Good evening. I'm Murray Walker. I'm from Donaldsonville. I'm pretty much here to speak on behalf of the West Ascension Recreation. I know that we have a proposal for, the village tax that's supposed to take place. I think it's wonderful, it's a great idea, but I'm here to kind of reiterate the fact that we need basketball gyms on that side of the river. We only have 2 gyms over there, and the 2 gyms are Old Donaldsonville High School, which was built in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and the Lemon Center, which on occasions, if it's being used, then we can't use it. So therefore, I'm here to push the issue about basketball. I've coached basketball. I've coached 7 and 8-year-olds this past season. Our basketball program last year had about 150 kids, and it's going to grow. We start off from 4 years old up until 13-year-olds. And therefore, like I said, it's growing, so we're going to need more facilities for these kids to play in. I've been in the program for over 30 years now, off and on, and it's near and dear to my heart. I don't have any kids in the program, but to me, all of those kids are my kids when I'm dealing with them. So therefore, I'm asking you guys to please, please don't forget about Donaldsonville, not just basketball, but recreation as a whole, softball fields, soccer fields, disabled, mentally challenged, our seniors. I'm here to literally plead to you guys. Just don't forget about Donaldsonville. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Charles Caluette.
Thank you, sir. My name is Charles Caluette, and I'm the Ascension Parish representative to the Atchafalaya Trace Commission. And as you know, the Ascension Parish is one of the 14 parishes that's designated as the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area. And the Trace Commission is the managing entity of the heritage area. The heritage area completed its management plan in 2012 and submitted it to the Department of Interior, which approved it. And then recently, just this year, the Congress reauthorized the heritage areas, and it looks like we'll be seeing a little bit more funding coming down the road because now that we have our management plan in. As part of our mission, we're supportive and we promote the development and integration of trails around the parishes and work with the tourism departments. Especially of interest are trails which emphasize the historical significance of the relationship between people and water, because that's one of our themes in the heritage area. The Mississippi River and Biomanchac are 2 examples of historically important waterways that we would like to highlight. And the Commission supports the development of parish recreation plans like the one that you're discussing here. And we offer our resources to support planning, integration with other parishes, and promotion of access to recreational features by local citizens and tourists. An example of this is we were able to put the Biotesh project to connect them with the National Park Service, which has some planning funding opportunities, and they created, or they're in the process of creating, a trail all the way down by Biotesh on the west side. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at here, and that's the kind of thing that we can help with. We're not into going out and buying land and doing those things. We expect that the parishes will do that kind of thing, but we can help with the promotion and the integration among the parishes. So with that, I give you our support and call us.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Allison Geiger.
Good evening. I don't have anything written down to say. I'm new to the area. We've been here almost a year. And I remember talking to my parents when we first moved down here and telling them, first of all, I thought I was burning alive from the heat in the summer. It was so hot. And saying, there are no pools. I don't know what to do. And I asked around what people do for pools. And they either have a pool in their yard or they know of someone that has a pool. And I don't know very many people. And we don't have one in our backyard. So I'd like to see a community pool, and I'd like to see a park that I can spend a day at. Prior to this, we were in Salt Lake City, and before that, we were in Washington, D.C. And I'm not comparing the National Mall to Ascension Parish, but in Salt Lake City, we had an awesome park, and we would honestly spend all day there. And it reminds me kind of the spot we have in Lamar Dixon, the land opportunity that we have there. And we would go to the park there, and we would rollerblade. And then we would go on a bike ride, and we would go to the pool, and we'd go to the splash pad. And there was a huge park, equipment big enough for 10-year-olds to 2-year-olds. And it was nice, and we need something like that here, because I know I'm not the only stay-at-home mom that is thinking, what am I going to do today? I need a place to go to, and it's so nice down here. We can do that 12 months out of the year. We're from Iowa, and in Iowa, it's snowing still today. I think there's snow on the ground. I don't know. But I think a lot of people would utilize that space, and I can envision this awesome park, and I hope that that can happen. So that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Ms. Verrett Gibson?
I am Nina Barrett Gibson, and I'm so excited that we are revamping and rediscovering Ascension Parish. To piggyback on what everyone else said, I hope that we also invest in education. Education utilizing Southern University, LSU, BRCC, the River Parish Schools, the areas of forestry, urban forestry, recreation, and to encourage our young people to get jobs in those particular areas. So they won't have to leave Ascension Parish to find those jobs. I'm a graduate of Southern University, finished in therapeutic recreation, have worked it 20 years. I was blessed to be able to stay here. Some kids now don't have that opportunity. But with the revamping of the park and recreation, they will be able to stay here, work at Lamar Dixon, work across the river in Donaldsonville, work in different places in recreation, to be coordinators, to be directors. I think we should seek those people with those degrees in those very specialty areas so they can utilize those parks and think outside the box. So glad to hear him say balance, so we can have equal things on both sides, so you won't have to go so far, things will be more accessible. I love the fact that he talked about the elderly as well and utilizing this beautiful landscape of Ascension Parish. We are so blessed to have it, natural waterways for us to use besides just fishing, kayaking, boating, and swimming. I am so with her to get in the water. It would be so wonderful so you won't have to go away to Ketchum Gym to do a swimming pool camp or the swimming pool competition. There's money to be made in Ascension Parish, in recreation, in parks, and in non-sports as well. Scrapbooking classes could be here as well. We could host quilting competitions as well here. So I think that revamping it and also including the children. They were talking about security at one of the meetings and maybe to pay for it, but if kids are taking ownership of the parks, of the recreation, letting them know, hey, we are included. This is my school's area as well. Okay, I may not trash it. I think I may take care of it. Also get them involved in the painting, murals, different things like that. The science, I think it would affect the grades here, improving that as well. And kids, and bringing more people in. She's not even a Southerner, and we're transforming her. So I think it would be a blessing for us to invest it, to get ownership of it, and to encourage the kids to understand, yes, you are a part of Ascension Parish. You're not just born and raised here in a statistic or a number, but you're a part of Ascension Parish through Parks and Recreation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Jonathan Scott.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Scott. I'm the president of the Bayou Manchac Group. I'm also the proud father of 2 grade school boys who are actually 5th generation Ascension Parish residents. We're not so much transplants as we are replants. My wife's family left Ascension Parish in search of jobs many years back, and 14 years ago, like a lot of other young couples, my wife and I chose to locate to Ascension Parish for the schools. But on my side of the equation, probably more so than my wife's, was the outdoor rural feel of the parish. The culture, the community, and at the core of that are the activities, even though you may not realize, what's going on with that. Since that time, Ascension has grown at a crazy pace. And you know, when the schools began to become overwhelmed, the voters stepped up and said, you know, we want to invest in maintaining the same level of educational excellence that we came to expect and we're so proud of here in Ascension Parish, and made that happen. Unfortunately, there wasn't a similar investment in recreation. And I don't need to tell you that the experiences that shape the character of our youth is not just limited to the classroom. You know, if you think back to your own experiences growing up and how many of the defining moments, you know, that really hit at the core of yourself happened in an outdoor environment, you know, whether it was sports, hunting, fishing, you know, you learned what it was like to win or how to cope with losing. If you remember what it was like to spend all days exploring the woods as a kid, ruining your clothes, getting yelled at, horseback riding, or the respect for life that you learned on your first hunting trip. The influx of kids into the parish is not going to slow down. And the kids that are packing the subdivisions in Ascension Parish now are going to be the people who decide the character of our parish when your grandchildren are growing up here. And the way to influence the character of those kids is to provide the sorts of outdoor opportunities that we can get through this recreation plan. And I didn't even talk about paddle trails. I think we had some other speakers talk about that. Tremendous opportunities, multiple opportunities to connect even the state parks on the North Shore with some historical trails through this area, and do what some other states have done with state and national trails along the very same path that comes up the Amite River, Bayou Manchac, and could take you from there bicycling all the way up into St. Francisville. Some of the best recreation spots we have in southeast Louisiana. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Mark Peters.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Peters, Hope Youth Development. I'm speaking on behalf of the plan that was put together for Donaldsonville. I think all of the information that was compiled in the plan that we have before the people today, I think everybody's going to be satisfied with the plan that was set forth at the meeting that we did in Donaldsonville. And also for the last 2 or 3 parish presidents I've talked to, and having a Olympic-sized swimming pool here in Ascension Parish is one thing that I would like to see. We have a parish with over 109,000 people, and we do not have an Olympic-sized swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, in a parish of this size. Thank you guys again.
Thank you. And we have next Ms. Rebecca Trish.
Thank you, council members. I'm a resident of the parish. I've lived here most of my life. When I haven't lived here, I observed a lot about what other cities and areas offered to their residents, and frankly was envious. I look at East Baton Rouge Parish and I'm rather envious of the outdoor opportunities that they have. I see our parish growing, and I'd like to, commend the effort to think about the future, to look toward preserving areas and spaces and what we could do with different parts of the parish to offer to our citizens. I would love to see a wildlife park. I'd like to see more piers, more fishing piers. I think we have an awesome opportunity to do canoe trails and offer that as an asset, as an attraction. For the few relatives that actually moved away from the parish, I would love to have them, when they come back, to say, look what we have to offer, where we can spend time outside, as opposed to the places that we go to now, which are among our families. Hey, I enjoy going to Walmart and the Outlets Mall, but I would like to do more in the parish. And so I think we have a wonderful opportunity. We're not a poor parish, and more people are coming here, and I think that they enjoy the people that they meet, the people like me whose family, has been here for many generations and still live amongst many relatives in the parish. But I think others probably may be put off because they don't see a variety of the quality of life that they might be used to. And so I'd like us to offer that, the attractive outdoor offerings, and continue to grow. We have a shooting range that's great, we have lots of fields, but we could offer more variety, and I want to support that and encourage that. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last public speak we had. See, does any councilman have anything to say, or parish president?
Everything I've heard at all the meetings, we understand that would be an enhancement to the lives, and, have good things that we could do here in the parish. I mean, we have a beautiful parish. There's a lot of things on the list that we've heard over the past 5 meetings, and, it's a goal that we have to set, and it's something that we need to do for the quality of life of our children here in the parish. So, I just want to applaud all of you for the job that you've done so far on this plan, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going in the parish here, and provide whatever we can provide with the funds that we do have presently. And I think that we working as hard as we can, and basically I think, I don't know if everyone knows, but the only funds that recreation receive are 10% of the 1 cent sales tax, and that's only by something that each year that the parish council votes on when we put it in the budget. So there's not any dedicated funds toward recreation in Ascension Parish, whereas every year the BREC budget is about $42 million a year, $42 to $50 million a year. So it's easy to provide a lot of those things and amenities when you do have the money, but we have to find a way to fund these programs and fund these improvements, enhancements in our recreation program.
Councilman Lambert?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, and this we at the turning point here. It's no looking back. Being through the 70s, 80s, 90s, I mean, we have some lights out there that's so far outdated. We have to come to some agreement here that, either we're gonna have to start telling our children we got to play in the daylight, or there's no night games. You mentioned BREC. They just passed this weekend. I think it passed by 60% their tax proposal there. It's gonna come. We're dealing with roads, we're dealing with recreation, we're dealing with wastewater. We just have to step up to the plate here and hope for the best. If not, you're gonna have to go back to, this, you just set the schedule and hope for the best. And that's the way it's gonna be. One thing I like, the Booster Club. It kind of reminds me of back, we used to have work weekends. Everybody would show up with a tractor, a rake, or something. Everyone was involved, but if you want to call it a Booster Club, I'll vote for that too. I mean, we have to get the community to buy in before we go any further with this. It's just, this is where we at. We need to move on. Thank you.
I'm good.
Nothing from Mike? All right. I'd like to thank everyone that came out tonight, and everybody that was on the Citizen Recreation Committee that came to the meetings and helped at the meetings. Thank Ms. Barber and Mr. Percy for the hard work they did so far on the plan. And we're looking forward to working even more on the plan and putting an initiative on the ballot, either it be a sales tax or a millage. That still has yet to be determined, and the final plan still has yet to be determined. But we're looking forward to continue working on that and putting something forth that the people of Ascension Parish would like. And with that, we go to agenda item number 5.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Lambert. Meeting adjourned.